Okay, so it's been a while since the last one, but I think I am finally ready to do another language challenge. Last time I learned Portuguese and I had so much fun in the process, and I was just so happy to see the positive response to that video. So if you haven't seen it, please check it out. But the next language I am diving into is Hindi. Why Hindi? Well, for me, Indian culture is one that I love and admire. From the food to the TV shows to the people, you meet Indians like basically everywhere you go. I've always enjoyed learning about Indian culture in some way. And because of that, it's also a country I've wanted to visit since I was little. So within the past couple of years or so, I started to think to myself, you always get excited when you hear Hindi, but don't you think it would be cool to actually know what people are saying and to be able to carry out a conversation in Hindi someday? Which brings me to this moment. So the rules for the challenge are the same as last time. I'm giving myself 10 days to learn as much Hindi as I can, and at the end of the 10 days I'll be having a conversation with one of my best friends, Ritika, to see how much Hindi I can use and understand in conversation. The goal isn't to become fluent, but just to see how much I can learn in this short period of time. But before I start, let me just be honest and say that this isn't going to be a typical learning from scratch experience because I do know some Urdu. And obviously Urdu and Hindi are different languages, but they do share a lot of similarities. So obviously my knowledge of Urdu will help me as I learn Hindi. But regardless, trust me, I am still very beginner level. So with all that being said, this is going to be a hard challenge, but that's kind of the point, right? So the 10-day challenge starts now. I started off by doing some research on basic Hindi words that are more likely to be used in everyday conversation, and I made a long list of just about every word I could find. Next, I thought it would be useful to learn the Hindi alphabet because that would help me understand the sounds of the words I was learning. But that quickly became a real struggle. So I've been here for roughly an hour struggling to learn the Hindi alphabet, and the issue here is that you're dealing with a completely different language system and script, and because Hindi is derived from Sanskrit, you're dealing with symbols, and that is something that for me as a native English speaker is kind of foreign. So that's where the challenge is, and it does get even more confusing for me as you start dealing with different vowel and consonant combinations. But one thing I will say that I like about Hindi is that everything is pronounced as it's spelt, so that kind of helps with pronunciation. Like, you don't get tripped up because everything, literally you say it how it's spelt on paper, so that it helps me a lot. Hindi sentence structure follows a subject, object, verb format, contrary to English, which goes subject, verb, object. For example, take the sentence, I eat fruits, मैं फल खाता हूँ, or I fruits eat. Pretty straightforward, but if we make it longer by saying, I eat fruits for breakfast every day, मैं रोज नाश्ते के लिए फल खाता हूँ, or I every day for breakfast fruits eat, it becomes a whole lot more complex. Okay, so I decided to completely scrap learning the Hindi alphabet as part of this because it is taking up a lot of my time. And honestly, I don't necessarily think I need to know the alphabet because my goal here is to learn how to speak and not to write. So I'm going to continue my learning using the process of romanticization. And what that is basically converting the writing of a different writing system to the Roman script. For example, if we take the word namaste, which means hello, this is the original Hindi representation of that word, and this is the Romanized version, which looks a lot like it sounds. So I'm just going to be using the Romanized equivalent, which is kind of like a semi-converted version of the language. Over the next few days, progress was slow but positive. I didn't expect this to be easy, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. Every day I spent an hour reviewing my notes from previous days, and I started to get the vocab down pretty quickly. In addition to my own review notes, I did some Duolingo lessons, which honestly didn't really help me that much. but I also tried to listen to some Hindi while doing chores to get the sounds to stick in my memory. And I watched tons of YouTube videos to improve my pronunciation and comprehension. It wasn't always easy to stay motivated, but the key for me was to do a bit of practice every day, even when it was difficult. There's just a ton of stuff to learn about Hindi sentence structure, and it is quite overwhelming. So what I've been doing to help myself is really just trying to get simple sentences down, and I'm using the knowledge of the structure of those sentences to help me make more similar sentences. For example, I can say, my name is Richard. Mera naam Richard hai. So using that knowledge, I can also say my something is something, and so on. And that kind of gradual progression increases the number of sentences you can make, which is the point of conversation, really. As day 10 of the challenge got closer, I spent the last couple of days reviewing what I had studied and polishing up my pronunciation. Mujhe ek seb padna pasand hai. Wait, what? What did I just say? I like to read an apple. Oh, seb is apple. Mujhe ek kitab. I mean, if I butcher the sentences, I might as well at least say the words properly, right? Today is the day. I have been pretty nervous leading up till today, but I really shouldn't be, because this is one of the best ways, if not the best, to force yourself to learn a language. You just kind of have to throw yourself right in and just go with the flow. Make all the mistakes you want to make, be as awkward as you want to be, and you'll begin to learn it slowly in the process. So let's hope today goes well. Namaste Ridhika, क्या हाल है?
मैं बहुत बढ़िया हूँ, आप कैसे हो?
मैं ठीक हूँ. India or Bharat? Isn't Bharat like the proper formal term for India? Bharat. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
तो अब तो हम लोग सभी के सब इंडिया ही बुलाते हैं, कोई ऐसे भारत नहीं बोलता है. जो लोग भारत बोलते हैं वो लोग मोस्टली पॉलिटिशियंस होते हैं, नहीं तो गवर्नमेंट में होते हैं, नहीं तो हमारे नाना नानी, ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स. लिटरली ये तीन कैटेगरीज बोलते हैं भारत, नहीं तो हिंदुस्तान, नहीं तो हमारे हिस्ट्री बुक्स में होगा बस.
इंडिया की बात, इंडिया में की बात बहुत what, how do you say languages? Is it भाषा?
भाषा एक होती है और भाषण सब भाषण्स.
Okay.
Is multiple ones.
Like Gujarati, Bengali, Tamil.
Marathi.
Exactly. आप कौन से बोलते हैं और तुम कौन से बोलते हैं?
मैं महाराष्ट्रियन हूँ. तो हमारे जैसे इंडिया में बहुत सारे स्टेट्स हैं, तो मैं महाराष्ट्र से हूँ. पर क्या हुआ है कि मेरे मम्मी पापा दोनों गुजरात में रहे हैं और मैं भी गुजरात में गुजरात यहाँ होगा और महाराष्ट्र यहाँ होगा, तो बहुत पास है. तो बहुत सारे महाराष्ट्र वहाँ पे गए. इसलिए जब मैं बॉर्न हुई थी मैंने बहुत सारा गुजराती भी सुना, मराठी भी सुना, तो इसलिए मेरा थोड़ा ऐसे फ्यूजन हुआ है.
Okay. मुझे समझ है.
समझ में आया.
समझ में आया. Geez, see, like all the auxiliary verbs and everything, that's what keeps confusing me. But okay.
हाँ. आपने कितनी बार इंडियन खाना खाया है?
मुझे रोटी पसंद है.
I asked you how many times you've eaten.
Oh, how many times? Oh, I thought you said, oh, well, okay. How many times? बहुत.
आपको जब आपने इतनी बार खाई है इंडियन खाना, आपको कौन सा पसंद था और है, और आपको कौन सा खाना है?
Did you explain something or are you asking me something?
मैंने आपको explain भी किया और पूछा भी.
Oh, okay. Which one do I like and which one do I want to try? मुझे बिरयानी पसंद है और गुलाब जामुन. North or south? Gulab jamun?
Gulab jamun, north.
No. Okay. Yes, that's what I want to try.
गुलाब जामुन खाई नहीं है.
Well, maybe I've had it elsewhere, but I want to try it in India, like the authentic one. आपका पसंदीदा क्या खाना क्या है?
मुझे तो बहुत सारा खाना पसंद है, क्योंकि आपको पता होगा मुझे खाना बहुत पसंद है। तो मुझे ये क्वेश्चन बहुत डिफिकल्ट लग रहा है, तो इसलिए मुझे सोचना पड़ रहा है। और आपने तो अच्छी वाली चीज ली, बिरयानी तो बहुत अच्छी होती है। जब आप यहाँ आओगे दिल्ली तो मैं फॉर श्योर आपको बिरयानी खिलाऊंगी। पर मुझे तंदूरी चिकन और बटर चिकन बहुत पसंद है। आपने बटर चिकन कभी खाया है?
How many times have I had it? Is that what you asked?
नहीं, आपने कभी खाया है? Like, have you ever had it?
Oh yeah. जी हाँ. मुझे बटर चिकन पसंद है, बहुत.
हाँ, आपको इंडिया में कौन सी शहर में जाना है?
मुझे
You have a lot.
वाराणसी.
हाँ, वो नॉर्थ में है, जो हमारी गंगा, हमारी गैंजेस रिवर गंगा हम बुलाते हैं। दो चीज फेमस होती है हमारी पूजा। तो आप वीडियोस देखेंगे तो बहुत सारे ऐसे इवनिंग पूजा बहुत फेमस होती है। तो आप क्या कर सकते हो, आप बोट में बैठ सकते हो और बोट से आप जो गुरुजी होते हैं, पंडित जी होते हैं, वो लोग पूजा करते हैं। और इतना ब्यूटीफुल साइट होता है, क्योंकि मैं गई हूँ एक बार और it moves you.
Yeah, मुझे saw it on TV. I saw it on TV. तुम्हारा पसंदीदा film, like your favorite film, is it? तुम्हारा पसंदीदा film है?
Are you talking about movie?
Yeah, I'm trying to ask like what your favorite film is.
तुम्हारा favorite picture कौन सा है?
Oh, so you say favorite too.
इसलिए तो मैं बता कोई ऐसे
Oh, so I don't even mess with all these hard words.
no one says it anymore, because half the time even we don't know how to say them, or they sound too old. मेरी favorite picture कौन सी थी? तो मुझे एक एक्टर पसंद है, ऋतिक रोशन। आपने सुना है ऋतिक रोशन के बारे में?
Yeah.
ऋतिक रोशन मेरे फेवरेट एक्टर है। और उनके बहुत सारे पिक्चर मुझे पसंद है, बट एक पिक्चर जो आप देखने चाहिए वो है सुपर 30। इंग्लिश और यूरोपियन चीजें बहुत इन्फ्लुएंस हो रही है हमारे इंडियन कल्चर में। और ये एक्चुअली प्रॉब्लम हो रही है इंडिया में। क्या हो रहा है हमारे लिए, वो मॉडर्न का डेफिनेशन ही वो है कि मॉडर्न मीन्स एजुकेटेड, हैविंग फॉरेन कार्स एंड हैविंग बिग हाउसेस, एंड ये सस्टेनेबल नहीं है। अनसस्टेनेबल प्रैक्टिसेस जो हो रहे हैं वो इंडिया को अभी तक मैसेज आया नहीं है।
India की बात, is it की बात, like India has इंडिया के पास बहुत pollution है. Is it because of this urge to like modernize that's causing a lot of pollution?
हाँ, तो दो वजह है। तो पहली वजह आपने बताई वो मॉडर्न होने की। तो बहुत सारे लोग और इंडियन की इकोनॉमी ग्रो हो रही है, तो क्या हो रहा है कि इंडियंस के पास और पैसा है, ठीक है। जब आपके पास और पैसा हो तो आप खरीदते हो ज्यादा गाड़ी या ज्यादा खाना, नहीं तो आप भाग जाते हो ज्यादा, और घर पे नहीं बनाते हो खाना, नहीं तो आप बहुत भाग जाते हो कि देखो मेरे पास इतना सारा गोल्ड है, मेरे पास 3 गाड़ियां है, मेरे पास 5 बेडरूम का अपार्टमेंट है। तो इतना शो ऑफ क्या हो रहा है कि हम अनसस्टेनेबल हो रहे हैं। और सेकेंड वजह ये है कि इंडिया मैन्युफैक्चरिंग हब है, और अब जब कोविड हिट हुआ है, क्या हो रहा है कि अब सब इंटरनेशनल फॉरेन इन्वेस्टमेंट्स इंडिया में हो रहे हैं। तो बहुत सारे फैक्ट्रीज और पोल्यूशन क्रिएट कर रहे हैं।
Right. Okay. So India is basically trying to shift all the manufacturing back home so they can like be more self-sufficient, and that basically adds to like mass production and pollution basically.
आपको जब इंडिया आना है और जब आप आओगे तो आपको क्या-क्या एक्सपीरियंस करना है?
Basically, what do I want to experience when I come?
Yeah, besides eating.
बहुत experience है. बहुत experience.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have like one in particular. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. I hope this was a good session for you. Are you gonna keep recording or are you?
No, I forgot to stop recording. Okay, so that was a conversation in Hindi. I think it went pretty well, and we actually spoke for quite some time and about a variety of topics, so that was a really awesome challenge for me. But the one interesting thing I discovered about myself during this whole process is that my listening comprehension is actually decent, if I may say so myself. I can understand much better than I can speak, and I think that is definitely because of all the Pakistani and Indian shows that I love to watch with subtitles. So over time, my ears have been trained to listen out for certain sounds, and I think that kind of helps me use context clues when I'm not too sure what the sentence is. But just being able to see that progress in actual conversation is pretty cool. Again, I didn't do this to become fluent in Hindi in 10 days. I just wanted to see how much I could learn. But I obviously have a lot of work to do where Hindi is concerned. And what I'm thinking is I'll continue to study and learn Hindi when I have time. And maybe I'll do a part 2 someday. But for now, I'm happy with this little bit of progress that I've been able to make. So that's the challenge complete. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you in the next one.